Hello everybody, welcome to another random Sunday weekend video thing. Yesterday we built this sound panel on a stream, live streamed that yesterday. Streamed for about 2.5, 3 hours or so. Had a lot of fun during the stream, but I'm not super pleased with how this one in particular turned out. So I'm going to make more. I didn't video this for YouTube, but I will be doing that soon. But before I can continue, I really want to fix this miter saw. I need to raise it up, and I want to build a box around it to catch all the crap, because it goes everywhere. I don't know if you can see it here, but this little shield right here, this thing catches all of the dust as it shoots to the back, and it sprays it everywhere. So, yeah, what I have done is cut some steel plates. These are 1/8 inch thick steel, which should bring the saw up just above the level of the tabletop, so that I'll be referencing off the saw base, which is what I wanted. Need to drill some holes and then mount this thing. See, now I'm just a hair above the bench, which is exactly what I want. I want the saw to be the reference, not the bench top. I'm not going to bolt the back down yet because I want to build the box, so let's go there first. What I want to do is build a 4-sided box. It's going to have to be 20.5 inches wide, and then these sides will come clear to here as far as I can get the plywood and then angle back. So first I want to build the base and the height part, which means I can rip my plywood to 20.5. Is that what I said? Yeah. It's just 1/4 inch thick plywood. It's just a box. Alright, so that's 20.5 wide, and I essentially want to go as tight up into this thing as I can, back to the wall, which gives me 13.5 inches. Now I'm going to have to trim this out along these sides with some just scrap material so that I have something to screw to. Because I'm a hoarder, I save all kinds of offcuts like this. Since I'm only using brad nails to hold this together, I'm going to put some glue on it. Normally I wouldn't glue something like this because it's temporary. But let's be honest, this will probably end up being more permanent than I expect. So we'll go ahead and glue it down and brad nail it. what size brads are in here, but we're about to find out. There's a lot of people on YouTube who take a whole lot of time to plan out their shop furniture with SketchUp and Fusion 360 and AutoCAD or whatever else they design with, and they make all these detailed drawings and plans, and if we're going to be honest, I'm never going to build another one of these. This particular build is only suited for my setup, so you have no use for this other than maybe ideas for your particular setup. So me sitting down here taking the time to draw up a detailed set of plans really doesn't make sense for anybody. Instead, I'm going to build it as rapidly as I possibly can without sacrificing quality. I'm not just throwing this together to without thinking about it. You know, I'm throwing it together with a purpose so that it will function, and I don't want it to look horrible. So that's going to be the back, and now I want to make sides that come all the way to here. They're going to come up and then angle back to here. So that I might actually have to draw something to get it to fit right. Maybe. That'll be my sidewall. So to cut this out, I'll just freehand it. Ta-da! Just going to use the first one as a pattern. And I'll freehand that out also. The thing I haven't completely thought through is how I'm going to run the power cord. I thought about making this box smaller than it needed to be so that the power cord could go over the top, but I think that would be kind of a useless box at that point because the dust can go over the top also. I am very much a perfectionist at heart. I want everything to be perfect. But one thing I figured out with age is that there's a time for perfection, and there's a time when you just need to get stuff done. And that's true like in your personal life, your professional life, like with everything that you do. Some days you just need to get it done and stop worrying about whether it's flawless. So today, we're just getting it done. I'll put it together, then I'll sand it so that it's smooth. There's no need to worry about how sharp the edges are or how perfect everything is. It's just a dust collection box. This is not the time to strive for perfection. This box is keeping me from doing other projects. So because of that, it just needs to get done. This is just one of those instances, you know. And if I were You know, obviously if I was selling this box, I would try to make it a better design, or I would try to make it more perfect, or whatever you want to call it, but I'm not. And this is also not something that I'm going to use in my portfolio as a shining example of my woodworking. You know, I'm never going to take this to somebody and say, hey, look what I can do. You know, here's an example of my woodworking prowess. And likewise, if somebody comes into my shop and they go to this and say, oh, well, you know, I would have made that better, they can just get the hell out of my shop. Like, I don't need that. Like, this is a freaking box to collect sawdust. You're not, you know, we like to think that people judge us all the time. They don't. They don't care about you. They're worried about themselves. They're too worried about whether they look good than whether you look good. I mean, I guess the power cord can go like that, actually. I was hoping, I want to put a strip across here to keep dust from bouncing up. My original plan was to put a hole down here for the power cord, so I think I'm going to stick with that. And then I want to put something across the top here. Probably this cut off down here. Not exactly the neatest hole I could have drilled. I have a box. All right. One thing I didn't plan for . That whole thing about winging it, yeah, it didn't work out this time. So that's okay. I can fix it, but it's going to lose quite a bit of the box's functionality. The problem is when I swing the Saw 45, the arms hit this sidewall. So what I have to do now is clip this sidewall at a weird angle, which I can do easily with a jigsaw. So it's not the end of the world. It just means that the box is going to lose quite a bit of functionality because of this. Now, I'm only going to clip this one side because I never swing the saw the other way. I say that now, and I'll probably regret it in the future, but it's currently the truth. So that fixes that problem for now. I'm not happy with it, but what I'll probably do is, I don't know, we'll see how it works. If it shoots too much stuff this way, then maybe I'll build an auxiliary box. Otherwise, I just have to deal with it. And, you know, the majority of the dust is going to collect down here anyway. And also right here on the saw. It's actually a really flawed design. I don't know what the point is to having this little deflector here. If I could take it off, I would, but it looks like it's held down by the stop. Maybe I can still take it off. It's held down by these stops, and I don't know if these stops are in it, but it's a really crappy design because it just keeps the dust, it shoots the dust sideways, which ends up on the bed of this saw. It's just not it doesn't work. And this thing does absolutely zero. Like zero dust comes out of this. So it's pretty useless in my opinion. I've cut a whole lot of cuts on this thing and there's nothing in this bag. So, you know, pretty useless in my opinion. But it is what it is. It's a nice saw otherwise. Now that I have this dust box, I'm not going to bolt it down. It's actually wedged in there pretty well. Probably a little too well. I think it's probably going to vibrate on this wall. So I'll probably move the bench out a little bit. And if I do that, then I'll just put a couple drywall screws down through here. But for now, that is out of the way. I can get back to making sound panels and hanging them and get the shop sounding better. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being awesome, friends. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Addendum. That shield was actually really easy to remove. Just one screw. The stop screws don't actually go through it. So my bad.